It's July, and Halloween Horror Nights is fastly approaching. And here at Zombie Chris Studios, we want to get you prepared for your trip to Halloween Horror Nights. No matter if you are a newcomer or someone who's been to the event for a few years, we decided we're going to cover all aspects as far as getting you prepared. Talking about, obviously, frequent fear passes, stay and scream, all the food, best options. And we're going to start today with HHN myths. No, this is not the myths of, is Eddie and Jack brothers? How is he alive and how is he not? We're not going to tackle that. We're going to tackle a lot of misunderstandings and myths when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights. So, you enjoyed Halloween Horror Nights, but you didn't really do everything? Wait, before you leave the actual park, did you know that you can actually upgrade your single night ticket or your Rush of Fear into a frequent fear pass? Because with Horror Nights, you can't do everything, and I mean you can't do literally everything in one single night because there's tons of food to try, the 2 shows, all the different zones and the different things that take place in the zones that you don't see if you only just walk through once. Different houses and the rides if you've never been to Universal Orlando before and you want to do some of the rides at night. But keep in mind, if you do want to do this, I would do it early or midnight. Don't wait until the end because guest services could have a huge line, or even worse, they could be closed. But basically, you're just going to upgrade your pass and pay the difference. And then now you can come back to Halloween Horror Nights even more. In case you didn't know, Halloween Horror Nights goes on rain or shine. But did you know the weather can actually affect the event? Opening weekend last year was so fantastic. Okay, it literally was not fantastic. Here in Florida, obviously, we have storms that come every so often, and it's a curse with opening weekend. There's always some weird, wacky weather that takes place. And did you know that the weather affects the event, not only just from a standpoint of a guest being soaked and miserable and wet socks and all that terrible stuff, but the actual rain and depending on the weather can affect the zone. So if, for instance, if you looked at Wicked Growth and Puppet Theater Captive Audience last year, those locations become kind of soaked. There's puddles everywhere. You're trying to hop over puddles. Sometimes the entrance to the houses can be flooded. So it does leave a weird effect when going to the event. Also, it affects the scare zones because then they take the stilt walkers down. They're not allowed to be on stilts. And sometimes the effects and certain things that happen in the scare zones won't take place. Or if actors are on stages, they're taken off of stages because of safety reasons, because it's wet. Now, it won't affect some of the houses, like soundstage houses, because those are big sound stages and pretty much they're covered and safe. But for you, it could affect because if you are soaked, and what happens when you go into one of these sound stages, they are very crispy as far as the air inside the sound stages. So it could affect your body being wet and then going into a soundstage that's cold, and then you're going back out and it's warm outside and then you're wet again. So just take precaution. Weather could have a big effect on your trip. Say you just brought express tickets and you feel like singing that Willy Wonka song that we're probably gonna get copyrighted for. but you don't have a golden ticket. You don't have a golden ticket. And I know this is a huge myth. Everyone praises the golden ticket. The Express is the golden ticket. Everyone says,
get Express, get Express.
What are you doing? Get Express.
And yes, we all say get Express because it is a big helper when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, especially more so recently because this event is just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more people want to go to it. More the younger crowd want to go to it, which makes the lines crazy. So Express is not quite the golden ticket. Your golden ticket would be to do the RIP tour because that guarantees you're going to see everything front of the line, no wait or barely even a wait. I would say you're just literally walking from the entrance to the house, but that is your golden experience. Now, Express tickets are praised and they are almighty, but they are not the Willy Wonka golden ticket. And this is something that they don't really explain to you, that the merchandise, Pete Fisher, the merchandise itself is different across the board. So if you're staying at one of the resorts, let's say for instance Cabana Bay, they all have their own individual Universal stores that have merch, but they won't have all of the merch. They'll have a very small selection of the merch. If you go to the City Walk store, you will find merchandise there as well, but it is just a small selection. Mostly, if you're going to spend your hard-earned money, you're like, I just want to buy a ton of HHN merch, your best bet is to go to the Tribute store. That is your number one location to go to. Your second location, Universal Studios store at the front of the park. That's going to be your second location because they will have a majority of the merch, not quite everything that you see in the Tribute store, but at least a good majority of it. And then third, if you happen to have a ticket to both parks or at least islands and you're over in Islands of Adventure, I would definitely check out the Hollow Spooky store. I don't quite know the name because they change it every season, but the spooky store they have over there in the land that takes place right before Harry Potter. You'll know what I'm talking about, but that store is going to be your third location to get all your other HHN merch. They'll have some other cool stuff in there like candles and artwork and stuff that you don't find in the actual Tribute stores. So hit up those three locations before you buy anything anywhere else because you're going to find the best selections in those actual locations. Come to Halloween Horror Nights, the most extreme event where the actors will grab you, throw you in corners, separate you from your party, and maybe even dump a bowl of tarantulas on top of you. Okay, this is a myth that's been going on for years and years and years, and I see it get asked every single year. Is it an extreme event? Will the actors touch you? Are there extreme elements? The actors will not touch you. They will not grab you. This is not that kind of haunt event where there's extreme elements. They're not going to grab you and separate you from your party or throw you somewhere or swear at you or any of that stuff. The actors will never ever touch you unless it's accidental. Sometimes things happen. They slip. They come too close. Those type of things might happen every so often. They're not meant to happen. It's an accident. So no, again, Halloween Horror Nights is not an extreme event. They will never ever touch you. You are safe to go to the event alone if you want to. And speaking of, as we talked about Express tickets here on HHN Myths, we did a video explaining a lot about the Express ticket. A lot of things you may not know, so I would definitely check out that video because it's gonna inform you of a lot of stuff, especially if you've never been to the event. Hell, even if you've been to the event and you brought Express maybe once or twice, you kind of forgot how it works, check out the video. It's gonna give you a lot of information about Express before you wanna buy it. So check out that video. Thank you all for subscribing and thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you all in the fall.